So today we are going to take a look at the Asus ProArt Studiobook 16 OLED. And before we dive any further, let's just get the specs out of the way. The Studiobook 16 OLED has a few variations. The one that I have here with me is powered by the Intel 13th Gen Core i9 13980HX chip with 24 cores, 32 threads, and turbo boost up to 5.6 GHz. The graphics is NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 laptop GPU, powering the beautiful 16-inch 3.2K OLED screen at my favorite 16:10 aspect ratio. It is also a 120Hz panel with up to 500 nits of brightness. This bad boy here also has two 4TB of M.2 NVMe SSD, making the total capacity at a maximum of 8TB. This machine here has 64GB of DDR5 memory, and then there's Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, something you'll expect in a modern high-end laptop today. The Studiobook 16 also comes with an impressive list of I/O ports. On the left side, you'll find one USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A 3.5mm combo audio jack, and my favorite SD Express 7.0 card reader. On the right side, we have one more USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A port, two USB Type-C Thunderbolt 4 ports that supports display and power delivery. More on that later. But wait, there's more. At the back, a full-size HDMI 2.1, a power connector input, and a RJ45 Gigabit Ethernet port. Very impressive. The Studiobook 16's juice is provided by a 240-watt power brick, and to be honest, it is quite chunky. But as I said earlier, this laptop does have two Thunderbolt 4 ports that supports power delivery. So you probably can get away with any USB-C PD charger as long as there's enough wattage to keep the juice flowing. But do take note that if you're using a much smaller USB-C PD charger, you're unlikely getting maximum turbo boost on both the CPU and the GPU. The 16-inch OLED screen is beautiful and vibrant as always with Asus recent lineups, and this particular display has a 100% DCI P3 color gamut, as expected when you see a high-end ProArt display. The display in this particular variant that I am reviewing is touchscreen, but I can't seem to find any pen in the box, unlike the previous ZenBook that I reviewed that comes with the Asus 2 pen. You won't find this in the ProArt Studiobook 16. Not a big deal, but do take note. And then we have Harman Kardon speakers with Dolby Atmos. It is always hard to showcase sound quality in video review like this, but trust me bro, it is good. Maybe not as good as the 16-inch MacBook Pro, but close. Similarly to the previous ZenBook Pro 16X, the Studiobook 16 also has a shortcut knob. This time a much thicker physical knob instead of a flat one like you see on the ZenBook. It pretty much does the same thing, giving you the ability to adjust the screen brightness, system volume, as well as customizing software level shortcuts like zooming in and out of the timeline in Adobe Premiere Pro, and so on and so forth. I didn't disable the knob here like I did on the ZenBook because this is actually a physical knob where you have to physically press down the button to activate it, and I have not managed to activate it by accident, unlike the ZenBook, which is why I turned that off by default. Overall, this has been a pretty easy laptop to review. You have the latest and greatest CPU, maybe not the greatest GPU, but 4070 is still pretty high up there. Expandable RAM up to 64GB, expandable storage up to 2TB, you got great sound, beautiful screen, 16:10 ratio, and an extensive list of I/O For a content creator oriented laptop, there is nothing really much that you can ask for. If you are looking for raw power, there isn't really anywhere else to look at other than the Asus ProArt Studiobook 16 OLED. Yes, we do have a couple of other brands that has very similar specification and also thinner and lighter, but those comes at a lower boost clock to accommodate the slightly lower battery and cooling capacity. So yep, this is the one that you go for if you want the maximum raw power. So I'm going to tell you what I didn't like about this laptop. This is a heavy and chunky bad boy. At 2.4 kilograms, it is reaching traditional chunky gaming laptop weight territory. You will definitely feel the weight on your lap after working on it for a while. And for sure, it will take a toll on your shoulder if you carry it during the entire day like what I did in Computex. The Studiobook 16 also has a slightly unconventional size for a 16-inch laptop. This laptop will not fit in any 16 inches laptop sleeve that you'll find in the market. Why? Because the back is protruding to allow for more cooling and I/O like the RJ45 and HDMI 2.1. The only way to carry this laptop is either inside your bag or by holding it naked and pray you don't drop it. And because the Studiobook is matte black, naturally it's a fingerprint magnet. It doesn't really bother me, but just to note, the last thing that I want to point out is the proximity sensor next to the Full HD IR camera. When it detects that you are not in front of the laptop, it will automatically dim the screen, which is a good thing. But I find the screen dimming often even when I'm right in front while working on the laptop. I have no idea how to adjust these settings. I tried to look around but I couldn't find it. It is very annoying when it does that. I have to wave my hand in front of the sensor to get the screen to light it back up so that I can continue to work. And now for the million-dollar question, how much does this laptop cost? According to Asus Malaysia, the variant that we have here is the 13980HX with RTX 4060 laptop GPU, 64GB of DDR5 memory with a 2TB of NVMe storage at 13,999 ringgit. Unfortunately, this particular one that I have with the 4070 and 8TB storage is unavailable, at least not at the point of me filming this video. But we will see. From the perspective of a content creator, myself, I definitely can see the value in this machine, given the price that Asus has put on it. Whether or not it is worth it, really depending on your workload, the kind of jobs that you do from day to day, right? Otherwise, people always say even a 3,000 or 4,000 ringgit laptop can do the work just fine. Depending again on how you look at it value-wise. So that is it from me. This has been my Asus Studiobook ProArt 16 OLED review. Leave a comment down below, like, share, subscribe. Dislike is okay too. And I will see you guys again in the next video. Bye!